Hello, so I'm gonna show you how to do this level of viscosity. And once you know how to do this level of viscosity, you will know where to play with, which sliders to move, so that you can get it more viscous, you can get more resolution. But with viscosity, you have to keep in mind that it, to my knowledge, always depends on what your computer can handle. So, but and it's with X particles, not with Nexus. I haven't figured out how to do it with Nexus. In this video, we are going to learn how to make viscosity with X particles, not Nexus, just X particles. Okay, so let's begin with a plane. Make it a bit bigger and turn it into an XP collider. Make it collide with both faces and reduce the bounce to 0 and the friction to 100. Now keep in mind that now we make the X particle system. Keep in mind that for the fluid to look very viscous, you need to go to the scene mode, here mode, scene, and under X particles turn the subframe steps to something like 5 or 7 so that you get the real viscous, but we won't turn it up until we have the simulation ready. So let's begin by turning the emitter into an ellipse and emitting on the negative Y, and we come make it a tiny bit thinner like that, and then we're going to affect the movement. So we go to the coordinates, and on the C we want to move every 15 frames, like that amount. So then we want it to oscillate, so we come select the emitter here, and then we choose oscillate, and it should be repeating ping pong constantly, so that's good. And now we can come to the emitter settings and go to extended data and physical data, turn on the friction to 100 and lower the bounce to 0. And on the fluid data, turn on the viscosity to 1000 and leave the rest pretty much as default. And now you can turn on the scene, like you go to mode here, scene, and X particles, turn the subframe steps, let's turn them on to 5, and if we hit play, we need to turn on the dynamics, the fluid effects. So turn on the fluid effects and choose high, and there you have the viscous fluid piling up beautifully. So now if we mesh it, let's cache let's paint 120 frames, and we can cache and make it an internal cache, so it's going to be recorded on the scene file, on the cinema file, and build it. Okay, so there is our viscous fluid. Now if we mesh it, let's mesh this, and as soon as you need to lower the voxel size, let's say 3, and the point radius we can make it 0.5, and the point options, point radius 0.5, and let's see what we have. Okay, it seems that it's too small. Let's see. Let's see. Don't know why it's not showing up. Okay, so one thing I forgot was to increase the particle amount. So on birth rate, let's put 10,000 so that we have more resolution, and let's cache again. Let me pause the video. So there we have, it can be smoother. I forgot to mention that you have to lower the particle radius. I go to XP emitter and lower the particle radius. You can play with this number. Default is 3 and it's very big, so you can lower it to like 2 or 1 depending on it will really depend on how much your computer can handle. So 2 is a good place to start. And here we have viscous liquid. You can increase the birth rate, like the number of particles, to have a little bit more resolution, but it will take longer to cache. So I'm going to turn off the emission at frame 75. So I'm going to key at frame 74, go to frame 75 and make it 0, and cache it again with the VDB. Okay, so I lowered the filter to 29.8 and the emitter. I made an animation that at frame 15 it has 20,000, and frame 74 it has 15,000, and then frame 75 it has 0 emission. I also lowered the radius of the basic particle data to 1, and that gives me a very nice viscosity. You can always go to your VDB measure and increase the amount of smoothness that you want to have. Keep in mind that the more smooth the liquid, the fluid, the less you will have these definitions. Or you can always increase, if your computer can handle it, the amount of particles to have more resolution. So I'm going to render this and we'll show you the result. Cheers. So I am rendering, and to have this viscosity I used subframe steps on X particles. You go to mode, scene, and then click on X particles. On the dynamics, subframe steps, I increased it to 10. So you can always play with the subframe steps and finalize with the number of your liking that you like the result. You can always, the default I think is 3, so you have to increase it and it gives you a better viscosity result. You play with it. So now I'm rendering, and I will show you the render when it's done.